Well, they don't get much worse than that, and this is why I should never say I'm all in on anything.
Yeah,
Padres,
you
as
idiot.
deflating of a loss as you can possibly have today to Colorado. 8 walks in the last 3 innings, none of which come around to score. Countless opportunities to win this game, tie this game, take a lead in this game, and they just fail to come through time and time again. The last of which was Manny Machado on a first pitch for a guy that could not throw a strike. First pitch swinging grounds into a game-ending double play. An inning earlier, Luis Campusano easily could have taken one. For whatever reason, elected to get out of the way of the pitch. It would have tied the score. He ends up flying out. And the Padres just waste golden opportunities in a disheartening, disappointing 5-4 loss to the Rockies. So let's break it all down. Who is the main culprit here tonight? There are a number of them, actually. As the Padres again fall, so subscribe. Year-on content for Padres fans. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X, at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Appreciate the super chats. We'll get to all of them here tonight and click the $ below the chat box. If you want to become a member, you get the emojis, including the Schulte emoji, who was not thrilled with the line of questioning from Kevin Acee post-game. We'll get into that as well. You can click the join button down below. But wow, I mean, I didn't see a scenario where the Rockies were getting out of this thing with a win. I mean, their bullpen could not have pitched worse. 11 walks overall, 8 of them coming in the last 3 innings, and somehow, some way, I mean, it screamed 2023. If you watch this game here tonight, the Padres found a way to lose as opposed to, what they've done a lot this year, which is scrap and claw and win some of those games. Not tonight against the Rockies.
Walking the bases loaded in back-to-back innings and you don't score any runs, and you have the middle of your order up each time. It just doesn't get more brutal than that. And like you said before we start, like, hey, Schulte, this should be deflating, bro. I mean, you had multiple opportunities tonight. You couldn't get a single hit in the 8th and 9th inning when the Rockies bullpen is imploding in front of your eyes. Manny Machado is a complete shell of himself right now. And you're okay with it? I mean, like, what? Maybe to you, like, seriously, you should be upset, Mike. I'm sorry. You should be like, this. That can't happen. You guys are expected. If you're expected to compete in the postseason and make a postseason run here, right? In this, you can't be doing shit like that. You're 22-22. You're not 30-22. Okay, you're a 500 team. You're facing one of the worst teams in baseball, and you just look, it's not the end of the world, because if you win the next 2 games, like we said, all that matters is winning this series. But tonight felt like one of those nights where you're like, okay, what the fuck?
I mean, this thing, if you watch this, and even if you didn't, first of all, Mike Schill, we're reacting to what he said to Kevin Acee. Kevin said this has got to be kind of disappointing not to take advantage of the opportunities. Like, disappointing to you? I mean, come on. Like, at some point, you can show your true colors. Like, let's be honest, it's disappointing. You're facing a terrible team with a terrible bullpen that gave you a zillion opportunities. First and second, nobody out in the 8th inning. Arise grounds into a double play. Bases loaded, 1 out in the 9th inning. By the way, later in that 8th inning, again, Campusano easily could have taken one and just dodged a hit by pitch for whatever reason, and then lines out. And then 9th inning, bases loaded and first pitch swinging, Manny Machado, when the guy cannot throw a strike. I mean, that's perplexing, absolutely perplexing to me. It's not like Manny Machado's red hot. He's not hitting 500 in his last 7 games. So, again, is it overly surprising after a really good series against the Dodgers that you would be somewhat flat? No, that's not overly surprising. But the problem is they did the hard work. Like, Vasquez wasn't good. And then the Padres bullpen keeps him in it, and they get huge hits. I mean, the Profar home run, the Merrill home run, it's like you've done the hard part. The easy part is capitalizing on other teams' miscues. They handed this thing to you on a silver platter, and you don't capitalize. And good teams would capitalize in that spot. I mean, the Padres had to have a 90% chance a couple of times there of tying the score, if not greater, in the 8th or 9th inning. And the 1 in 10 happened in back-to-back innings. So it was perplexing. It's not something we've seen terribly often from the Padres this year. But how about the last 2 losses to the Rockies, Jim? A 9-4 lead that you blow in the 8th inning, and then this craziness that happened here tonight.
I was just thinking about it. It feels like the last 2 seasons, and you could go farther back, but just the last 2 seasons, some of the most brutal losses have come at the hands of the Rockies. Remember last year, in Colorado, and I think we like went live and we were watching the game, and somehow remember when it's like Manny dropped the ball on a tag? Remember that at third base?
Yes, of course I do. Of course I do. It was absurd. It's like his only drop of his career.
Like they lost that game. I mean, some of the most brutal losses that this team has had over the last 2 seasons has been at the hands of the Rockies, which is crazy because the Rockies suck. And you just the Rockies have in every one of these brutal losses, they're just trying to give you the game. And you can't come through. In every game this year means a lot, guy. It's just it's you can go out there and you can say it's May 13th, but I guarantee you, if you look up at the end of the season and you're like 1 back or tied, this is a game you put in the column of, should have won because you were given. Now, they didn't have a lead in this game, so it's not like they blew a lead, which is different. But when you are a team that is facing a pitching staff or a relief pitching staff that can't throw a fucking strike if their life's dependent on it, they walk the bases loaded twice in the 8th and 9th inning, and you can't score a run there, 1 single run.
What about the 7th inning? Well, I don't even remember the 7th inning, but they had 10 men on. There were walks every inning. They had to have at least 2 on in the 7th inning.
It was the 8th or it was the 8th with Campusano flying out the center,
but
right?
the inning before they threatened as well. They scored and threatened.
Arise hitting the double play. And
was
then
that the 8th or the 7th?
That was the 7th.
No, here's the 7th. Here's the 7th. Listen to this. Listen to this 7th inning. Merrill home run 5-4 to lead off an inning. Okay. So you're feeling pretty good. I mean, you've come back. It's 5-4. There's nobody out. It's the 7th inning. Campy walks. You're feeling incredible. Kim walks.
You're 8-9 guys.
You're right. This is what you got 2 on, nobody out in the 7th inning. Luis Arise, who has hit 365 in his career with men in scoring position, grounds into a freaking double play. Okay, so that basically erases that. Then bottom 8, listen to this: walk from Crony, line out for Machado, Profar walk, Bogey strikes out. We can get into that as well. Merrill walks. Then Campusano, I mean, it would have been so easy to take this. And again, I get instincts. I get it. But he missed getting hit, Jim, by a centimeter, if that. It looked like it might have grazed his jersey. I mean, he intentionally avoided getting hit on his jersey. It would have tied the score.
Yeah.
He later flies out. Then bottom 9, walk, the Arise fly out where Jake Cave made the play of the century.
Right.
Okay. And then there's a wild pitch, and then Toddy walks, and then Crony walks, and then first pitch, Machado grounds out to third. Well, double play. Let's get to some of the supers because there's a million supers rolling in. Guys, subscribe. You're on content for Padres fans, home of real Padres talk. Smash the like button for us. We'll get to all these supers. Click the $ below the chat box. Ishmael, thank you. He says, I think this is facetiously saying this. Manny should have bunted and passed it on to Profar. I mean, we'll let Jim rant on Manny. Actually, if you want to do it here, Jim, I mean, Manny Machado, let me just set the stage for you. Manny Machado, right now, after his 0 for 4, is hitting 227 with a 640 on-base plus slugging. He did walk in this game and score on the Profar home run, but was 0 for 4 again. He has been awful and even worse recently for the – he's hitting 227, Jim, on May 13th. That's hard to believe.
Yeah, ever since he got his massive contract that he, got from Peter Seidler last year and made it about him in spring training, he has been awful. Plain and simple. There's no way around it. He did not have a good year last year. I don't care what anybody says. And if you want to use the injury as an excuse, go ahead, fine. But I'm not. The start of this season, awful, especially after the embarrassing comments that he's had the last couple of years about leadership and the clubhouse and, you better jump on the bandwagon now before we start fucking raking. At some point, bro, you need to perform. And you got all this money from Peter. There was division and has been reported on by Dennis. Not everybody inside that front office was good and on board giving Manny Machado that $350 million 11 or 10-year extension. Not everybody was on board. Okay. That should tell you one thing. 2, you get into spring training last year, make it about yourself because Bogey gets a lot of money and you're asking everybody, where's my money? And you kind of hijack things until you get your contract. You then get your contract and put up a shit season last year. And then you follow that up after an embarrassing season with an embarrassing start, even more embarrassing start to your year. And if you do not perform this year, then guess what we're going to start talking about going into year 3 of this 10-year, $350 million contract is, will this now be the worst contract in Padres history? Because you're getting paid the most money on this team. You are the perceived captain of this team. And if you don't perform,
I have to stop this rant. Hard stop. This is not going to be the worst contract in franchise history.
Well,
continue on.
Okay.
It's not.
I might have gone too far.
You went too far.
I'm
we
upset.
can't go there tonight. We can't go there tonight. Not tonight.
I'm just like, when are you going to step up, bro?
Yes.
When are you going to step up? When are you going to start playing up to your contract? When are you going to come up with a clutch hit? You know, when are you, I mean, you're going to hit in the middle of this lineup regardless. You're not getting moved down like Xander. You're not getting moved from your cleanup spot down to 6th like Xander did. So either you start performing or there's going to be some hard question asked to you, and you can't stand there and say it's just baseball. It's just baseball.
That's baseball. All right, let me get to Padre Phil. Thank you, Padre Phil. We're going to get to all these super chats. This could be an interesting next hour. He says 3 things. 1, Wade needs to hit for camp in the 8th. No, he doesn't.
No. Even though he's a baseball player.
That's great. That's great. 2, Kim needs to sit. I was all for Kim sitting today. He took a fastball off his wrist yesterday and was awful today in the field. I mean, terrible. And then he says Manny was a cancer in Baltimore, LA, and the Padres clubhouse in 2022. Facts. I don't know if that's factual. Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore was in the postseason like 3 times with Manny Machado. So, and I have no idea what played out in LA. It was like 60 games. Was he really
Baltimore?
A clubhouse
He didn't
cancer?
have to. Baltimore, he didn't have to be a leader there because he had J.J. Hardy and Adam Jones. And
yeah, by the end, yeah, I agree with that. But I don't know about LA. It just probably wasn't the perfect fit. And then, yeah, I mean, I'd say the Padres clubhouse. I think you're speaking more on 2023, which is what Jim just spoke on. Yeah, I mean, again, is Manny the prototypical leader in a clubhouse or off field? It doesn't seem as if he is.
No,
it truly doesn't. I mean, we're not in there each and every day, but yeah, I mean, can he rub some, including the media, the wrong way? I mean, he's transparent. He's honest. He says things people don't like hearing. That's for sure. I think Kristen's luggage is calling. That's weird, right? Hold on.
Wait, what happened?
Hello? Yes, you have my lost luggage. Okay, great. Can you just leave it outside the garage and I'll pick it up a few minutes afterwards? I appreciate it. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so Kristen was in Denver and she like hopped on an earlier flight, but the bag was on a later flight and Kristen's been sleeping since like 7 o'clock, maybe 8. So I have her phone in case the luggage guy called, and here he is calling with our lost luggage.
Nice. There you go. Where were we?
I don't know. Let me get to the next.
Thanks for the super. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Padre Phil. Yeah. The 2-step. Thank you. It says Manny's leadership this year, A through F grades. Your take. I mean,
it's about leadership right now.
Yeah, we're not talking leadership, right?
No.
I mean, he just had a child 3 weeks ago. The team's been relatively good. I mean, if nothing else, they're 500. They're not bad. So this isn't an indictment tonight on Manny's leadership, is it? The fact that he's 0 for 4 and mired in a slump and grabbed into a double play to end the game?
No, this is an indictment on his play on the field. Like, full stop. That's it. We're talking about his play on the field at the plate. That's it. I'm not talking about his leadership. Last year,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like the quotes last year were bad enough. I don't want to hear that.
You were talking about that earlier.
I was, but I'm lumping it. I was lumping it all together because the last year plus has been it's been a bad year plus.
Yeah, I agree.
So no, right now I'm not even thinking about like leadership or whatever from Manny. Like I know there's a conversation for another day. Mm-hmm. Right now it's about his performance on the field, and his performance on the field is bad.
He's trying to take the mantle from Bogey from being the worst hitter right now on this team. At least Bogey's
He's
homered in
trying.
back-to-back
Now,
games.
Bogey had a moment tonight too, where
How
he
can you?
also struck out with a runner in
He
scoring
did.
position in less than 2
He
outs.
also homered, which is encouraging because we've been watching him, and for
Yes.
him to be productive the last 2 days is encouraging. But I lost my train of thought. Tom, thank you. He says Manny Fraudchado, a waste of $350 million, pathetic. Again, I think we're probably leaping a little far with the Machado contract tonight. Has it been a underperforming 200 games since the start of 2023? Yeah, that's a large sample size, and he's not getting younger. But I don't know if I'm willing to say it's a waste of $350 million at this point. That's probably going too far in May 13th, 2024.
I mean, the contract stuff needs to be years down the road before we start talking about, hey, was this contract even worth it type of thing? Because he could still, and I still believe Manny will have moments this year where he's going to get hot.
Well, of course he will. It's
He just
160 game season.
always does. Look, his North Star every single year is get the 30 home runs. He gets the 30 home runs, he feels good. And that's what I feel like he's going to end up with this year, or at least close to it. 28, 29, something around there. That's what's going to happen. Manny's going to get there. But it all is about not just getting to those numbers. It's about how impactful those numbers are going to be for this team. And is Manny going to have an impact on this team? You know, you can hit 258 in the season with 28 home runs and, 85 RBIs and an OPS of 790. But you also could have those numbers and be also impactful to a team coming through in the clutch moments, coming through with runners in scoring position, like doing the things to help, win games for your team. And right now, Manny's more often than not doing it. I mean, he has a couple moments this year where he has come through big.
Well, like Korea, that was like a decade ago.
And the game against the Cincinnati Reds when they were on a 5-game losing streak. But like really, other than those 2 moments and maybe one other, I can't really remember. I'll give him 3. 3 moments this year where it's like, damn, Manny came up clutch. It's not enough, dude. Especially if you're hitting 4th and you're getting paid all that money.
Okay, here are his last. Let me just run through his last handful of games. Tonight, 0 for 4. Yesterday, 0 for 3. The day before, 0 for 4. The day before, 0 for 3. The day before in Chicago, 1 for 4. The day before that in Chicago, 0 for 4. So what is that? 8, 11, 15, 18. He's 1 for his last 22 with an RBI. If you go back one additional game, he's 2 for his last 26 with 1 RBI in his last 8 games. 8 games, 1 RBI, 2 for 26. I mean, yeah, like you've said over the years, be better. Benjamin, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. He says you need a realtor as a show sponsor so you can sell Manny's house.
We did. Well, no, we don't, but
the guy just doesn't care anymore. I think you got to be very careful with equating performance on field to care.
He cares. I
think Bogarts cares. I just think he's struggling. I think all these guys care. I just think they're not coming through. But I don't think it's a product of whether they care or not. I mean, that to me is always going too far unless someone gives you a reason to believe that they don't, quote unquote, care. But I'm not getting that from Manny.
Here's a question for you, John. Will Manny ever have as good of a season as he had in 2022 for the rest of his career?
The odds would say no. Okay. The odds would say no because he's only getting
bad. Then that's a problem.
Older. Yeah,
that's a problem.
No, I mean it's possible, but the odds would probably say no. Talon, thank you for the super guys. Appreciate the supers. Click the $sign below the chat box. Look at all of them. Please subscribe. He says Manny should be benched. That was effing pathetic.
No, he's not getting benched. No, you're not going to bench him.
Again, we're talking about sports are about performance. We understand it, but you don't bench players for not coming through unless they don't come through over and over and over. I mean, they're not benching Xander Bogaerts, then they're not benching Manny Machado, and Manny Machado's not getting benched. I mean, we understand the dynamic at play there with Manny. There's no benching of Manny Machado. You win with them or you lose with them. How many times have we said that over the last 5 or 6 years? He carries you or he doesn't. But he's going to play every day. By and large, he should play 150 games this year, even with the paternity leave. He missed 4 games. He should still play probably about, 148, 150. So he's not going to sit. Whether he's hitting or not, the guy's not going to sit.
Same thing with Bogarts. Like they're not sitting. This is what they have. You might say for Bogarts, like, hey, we're gonna, instead of playing 6 days a week, you're gonna play 4 days a week or 5 days a week. But Manny Machado is not sitting ever. He is never getting benched. Never, ever, 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 ever. That's never happening. He's never getting moved down in the lineup. He's never going to hit lower than fourth. I'd be shocked if that happened. Like, imagine Manny getting to the ballpark one day and he's hitting sixth. You don't think that's you think that's gonna go over well?
Not before his age 40 season.
Exactly.
JD Gaucho, thanks, man. He says, John's the Rockies' third base coach. Hey, did you see that? Number 44 was Schaefer.
Oh, nice.
And doing the Padres wrap-up show, impressive. Yeah.
The same way?
I went 1-1 tonight. Got a Rockies win and a Padres loss.
It's all you, man.
On the wrap-up show. But no, that wasn't me, and I don't think I'm related to him, but it's possible. Talon, thank you again. He says, Manny makes, what does this mean? Broccoli head bogey?
Oh, because
look like a stud. Hair.
No, we're not going to name call.
I mean, no, this is the thing. I mean, everyone's freaking out. This might be, listen, it's 1 of 162. Its overall impact, we'll see if it matters or not. I mean, we have absolutely no idea if a game like this will ultimately matter in the grand scheme or not. They haven't played. Here we go again, though, where they're over 500 against good teams. They're under 500 against teams that are under 500 this year. So that's weird. That's who they've been so far this year, and they haven't been good against the Colorado Rockies here the last 2 series. Could that bite them? Yeah, that could absolutely bite them. And what did we say? You could give away all your goodwill you've done against the Dodgers if you don't play well against the Rockies. Now, to your point, there are 2 more games in the series. You have Dylan Cease in one of them. They're capable of winning the next 2 games. And if they do, all is good. You go to the road 2 games over 500. But the problem now is you've put some pressure on yourself. You got to win the next 2 games.
Yeah, and that's what started the show with. Like, this loss is brutal. I don't care what Schultz says. It probably, and Bernie actually responded, and he makes a good point. It probably says something to, like, when you aren't that concerned, or what did he say? Yeah, I mean, Bernie said the fact that it's not deflating says kind of something about Schulte. You know, like, hey, if this isn't a deflating loss to you, maybe it is behind closed doors. But if it's really not a deflating loss to you, maybe that says something, because this was one of the most deflating losses of the season, in my opinion.
Schultz going to back his team to the nth degree. It could have been they could have lost Game 7 of the National League Championship Series, but like you said, it's deflating. Right. I mean, it's just, I honestly, like, he's not going to. The team's played well. They were 8-3 in their last 11 coming in. He's not all of a sudden going to offer a critique after losing that game. It's not like they're 3-8 in their last 11 coming in, where maybe he would open up a little more. You're not getting it from him. It's not the type of manager he is. He never will publicly call out his team, which I think has benefits in a clubhouse. I don't know if it plays well to the fan base or the media, but I think in that clubhouse with those 26 men, it probably has its benefits. And we'll see. We'll see how they respond. Audrey, appreciate the super chat. Audrey saying Chris Matt talking smack to Manny yesterday made me wonder if Manny really is a cancer. Still want to deny it, but it's there. 0 for 15, top 4 tonight. Hurt. I saw Chris. I didn't see that specific situation. I mean, they are on different teams now, so I don't know. I mean, I wonder if we're maybe reading too much into that. I mean, when we say cancer, I mean, what are we specifically referring to? Do you think the season goes differently in 2021 if Manny Machado did something differently in the clubhouse? No, they started pitching. Yeah. 2023 was Manny's fault. It's a million people's fault, probably.
Yeah, I don't think cancer is a big word to use for a guy. Like, hey, this guy's a cancer. Manny's not a cancer. A lot of people in that clubhouse, I mean, look at Manny as like the guy. So that's not a cancer. We're not even, I'm not even thinking about clubhouse dynamics right now. I'm only thinking about on-field play. Like, that's all I'm thinking about right now. Now, if he comes out with a quote like he had in an article like Kevin had last year, then we can talk again. But as of right now, like, that's in the past. All right, that happened last year. Hopefully lessons were learned. And right now, this year, if the vibes of the team feel a lot better, there doesn't feel like this disconnect like there was last season, and they're playing better baseball, even though they're 500 still. It's purely about his on-field performance. And if you look at his numbers, that is the problem with him specifically, not the whole team, because there's other factors like Bogarts needs to be better, Toddy needs to be better. Like, but just specifically with Manny Machado, hitting 227 on May 13th, and having this type of year through 44 games so far. Now he didn't play all 44 because he went on paternity leave for the birth of his child.
Yeah, and he sat a game or two too.
The first 44 games of this year and all of last year, after getting your big contract, you have stunk.
I do have okay, there's a couple supers that are coming in. I want to get to Mark Nimitz. I want to react to this, actually.
Stop.
I do want to react to this.
No.
No, I want to react to that. But first, I want to get to Mark Nimitz, our title sponsor. On the wrap-up show, as you guys know, we can't do this without your support. We can't do this without the support of our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. He's been with us since day one on YouTube nearly 3 years ago. If you've got an insurance need, let Mark help. He can take care of it all. I've got homeowners, earthquake, and life insurance with Mark. He can save you $750 if you switch your insurance over to him before you renew. Make sure to call Mark. He'll give you free quotes. He'll talk to you about the Padres as well. You can click the link in the description down below. But whatever it is, he does auto, he does home, he does renters, life, condo, earthquake. I mean, he does everything. I had to file a claim in 2022. He saved us so much time and money. He is a great insurance agent. You can take that from me with great service, great communication. He took care of everything for us, and I'm truly thankful for what he has done as our insurance agent. So if you have any insurance needs before you renew, call Mark. And again, if you support our work, if you support the channel, please support our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz, by clicking the link in the description down below.
All of his information is on the bottom ticker there. His email address, mnimitz@farmersagent.com. When you reach out to our buddy Mark, who is not happy tonight, let him know it's okay, and that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
I mean, I would need to watch the final play. I would need to watch the ground ball double play. And I'm kind of tempted to do it, to be honest with you.
It was a quick turn.
It was a very quick turn. I mean, he had no shot.
No, I'm not. This is not a dogging it down first base type of moment.
Let me watch it. I mean, when the game literally ends, you probably should be getting down that line, but I'm going to watch it real quick. I wasn't thinking. I mean, again, off the bat, you're like a double play. Let me see. Again, that's just kind of, again, is he going to be sprinting out of the box?
Yeah, if it was game 7, he might. I mean, look,
I don't know.
If, you know, it's very easy to say, dudes just walk the bases loaded. Why are you swinging at the first pitch? But there's also that mentality from a baseball standpoint for players. Maybe that was the pitch Manny wanted. It wasn't like it was.
He hasn't had a hit since like the Reagan administration.
I know. Maybe, but at least it wasn't like 3 feet outside and he swung at a slider. He swung at a fastball up and in.
I mean, he shouldn't be swinging anything.
I agree. I agree with you. But I'm not going to sit here and be like,
you got to be seeing some pitches. Like, again, if he's scorching out, if he's jerking pro far, I get it. I understand what you're saying. Like, sometimes you have to be on the attack. But they had walked 8 batters in 3 innings.
I know.
This dude was on the ropes. There was only 1 out. The game was not on the line. You could work a deeper count. You could fall behind. Even if you struck out, the game doesn't end in that spot. I just think you got to be like willing to make the pitcher come to you as opposed to the opposite. You don't need to be the aggressor in that spot. I understand he could have come through in that spot. He has before, but it just looks worse when you're mired in a season-long slump. You swing at the first pitch and grind into a double play. Legend of the Fall, thank you for the super. He says, Manny almost never takes a shred of accountability for his shit play. Just like his boy Hosmer. When X struggles, he openly says he needs to be better. He definitely does. I mean, but guess what? You guys are just as critical. And I'm not saying this everyone's as critical as Bogarts as they are of Manny, are they not? Despite what they say to the media.
Can I say something real quick, dude? About Eric Hosmer? One, he unblocked me.
He's like Mr. Like he loves everything now.
Breaking news. And 2, he's kind of like really likable now with seeing what he's doing on
trying
social.
He's trying pretty hard.
And I'm buying into it. I like it. Like there's some things he says, I'm like, okay, I like you. You know, like I wish you kind of maybe showed more of that when you were here, but whatever, water under the bridge. But anyway, I mean, I'm sure we're going to get some quotes from Manny tonight because you got to
I
go
hope
talk to
so.
Manny.
I don't know though.
I mean, maybe. I'd hope so. I mean, you were in the middle of a lot of moments tonight that you didn't come through in. And you've kind of been ducking the criticism here of late because of Bogarts.
Right.
Like everything is about Bogarts. But in reality, Manny's getting paid more than Bogarts by a lot. And Manny's, I mean, you could argue he's doing just as worse as Bogarts right now. Maybe worse if you look at his recent stretch of games here. So yeah, there's some questions that need to be answered. Is answering these questions going to turn his season around? No. He's going to need to go out there and do it. And that's the problem is Manny ever going to be that guy again? Is Manny ever going to
carry
a team like he did in 2022? And that's not far. That's not that far out removed. We're not saying 5 years ago, Manny. We're talking about just a couple seasons ago. And he's not had any major injuries since then. The elbow, okay.
He hasn't had a major injury since then.
Well, I mean, the elbow is a injury that, it's a major injury.
He had surgery.
Take it back. He had a major injury.
Yeah.
But that was more or less for him throwing the baseball, not swinging a bat.
Well, we said that. We don't know if we're correct in saying that.
True.
The Dean, thank you for the super chat. He said Morejon had a bounce back game. Vasquez fell apart. Morejon was terrific. 3 1/3 innings. I don't know if he allowed a hit. I think he struck out 3, no walks. Vasquez didn't pitch well, but despite it all, the bullpen gave you a chance to win this game. And the offense, again, with the fireworks from Merrill and Profar, you were set up perfectly. Everything was set up perfectly. Despite Vasquez, even though Vasquez pitched terribly or poorly, you should have won this game. I mean, you got to win this game 9 out of 10 times with all those opportunities in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. So yeah, Vasquez didn't pitch well. The bullpen did. My storyline isn't Vasquez not pitching well. Their rotation had been incredible for 4 straight games. The story is you had opportunity after opportunity. What did they hit with men at scoring position in this game, Jim?
0 or 1? He had the 1 hit. No, they went 0, right?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I think they went 0.
0 for 6. They're now 0 for their last 18. They've had 3 consecutive games where they're 0 for 6. So they're at least 0 for their last 18. So that's my takeaway. I mean, you had countless opportunities, and it felt like the 2023 Padres. He says, what is this? Buy 0008. Thank you for the super. He says, why is Arise bunting in the 9th?
He's trying to move the position of the defense pretty much.
I don't take me through the circumstance, Jim. What happened? Who was on?
It was the 9th inning, right?
Wait, that's when he lined out to right, right?
That's when he hit the ball to right in the greatest hitter, or the greatest catch ever.
Yeah. So
he was when you do
did he bunt foul, or did he just show?
He was just showing.
No, he's not bunting. He's not bunting. He's showing. He's trying to draw a ball. Is what he's trying to do.
He's trying to draw a ball, and he's trying to see if the third baseman's going to move in,
right,
and then it's going to open up
room. Right.
Yeah, it's going to open up the hole for him there.
He's got his own little game. The guy uses all fields, and it typically works. Tonight was not a night where it worked because he grounded into a double play, and then should have had a hit there in the 9th inning if not for a really good play. Let's be fair.
Sure.
HBBB, and they win the game, by the way. If he comes through there, they'll win the game. They just would have, but the guy made a play. Right. HBBB, thank you for the super and the membership. No. He says he's selling his number 13 jersey for $1. I don't know if you can get that much based on the chat.
I'm not saying go burn Manny's jersey, guys.
Is that what you're saying, Jim? To sell his jersey?
No, I'm saying Manny needs to be better. Plain and simple. This is not a jump off.
Because last time he did it, turned his career around.
Last time I did it, everyone hated me for it.
I know.
And then you had to walk off.
I don't feel like they don't still hate you.
It's just there's no jumping off the Manny bandwagon. There's no get this guy out of town just because he's had a bad year so far. There's none of that. Okay. Manny is extremely important. You could argue he's probably one of the most important players on this team. And he's not going anywhere. Okay. He's here for the long haul. He's done a lot of great things as a member of the Padres over the last 5 seasons. But that was the past. looking forward here, you got to produce, and he's not producing. It's just there's nothing else you could say other than he needs to be a lot better because right now he stinks.
I wish how do I pronounce this, by the way? Can you put it in the chat? Because he's been a loyal viewer over the last handful of nights. I don't know if it's Kimumaki. I'll say Kimumaki.
Kimumaki.
Kimumaki, thank you for the super and appreciate you watching, I believe, from Japan. And he makes a good point here. Like the overreaction, trade Aaron Judge, bench Manny Machado, DFA Vlad, fire Dave Roberts. Baseball fans are so harsh. We still have a 55.2% chance to make the playoffs. And obviously, it's pretty early. But I mean, listen, it's professional sports. People spend a lot of time and money on their team. So I understand, having a high bar. I do understand it. But yeah, there is a lot of overreaction because over 162, very little has been determined by now. What do we know right now? There's 3 teams that aren't going to make the postseason: Colorado, Miami, Chicago White Sox. There's 4 teams that we know are definitely out of it. And then there's 26 other teams that still, I would say, have something to play for on May 13th. So, I mean, there's so much baseball in front of us. And it's sometimes fun to react and overreact, but truth be told, Jim, we're going to be reacting and overreacting each and every game from here on out. And there's 118 more for the Padres to play, and they lost tonight a very winnable game. Does that therefore ruin their season? In all likelihood, probably not, truthfully.
No, it doesn't. I mean, this loss sucks.
Yeah, it's a bad loss.
You want to know what's great about tomorrow's game, John?
It counts.
Well, it's not the great part about it, but the great part is you have Dylan Cease pitching tomorrow. The good part is you have Michael King pitching on Wednesday, excuse me. And those are way better options than what you had tonight starting the game in Vasquez. So
true, although Cal Quantrill's the modern day Cy Young.
Yeah. With his 3.94 ERA.
And I will say this, the starter tonight for Dakota Hudson had been awful. And the Padres, they eventually got to him with Profar. But you wish they would have done more damage against the starter. 5 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs. He had a close to a 7 ERA coming in. And the Padres, they did a little bit of damage off him. You can thank Profar for that. But I was hoping they were going to do more, to be honest, against Dakota Hudson. All right, let's get back to this in a moment, Jim. We do need to remind our viewers about our friends here on the Wrap Up Show, our new partners on the Wrap Up Show, FinLead. This is a great company, San Diego startup. Let me tell you more about them, in fact. Okay, they've got offices right by Petco Park, right? And here's the deal. Here's the quickest way to explain FinLead. FinLead gives fans the opportunity to own a piece of the potential upside of real athletes. It's a really cool company. The first player that they have signed is a prospect in the Texas Rangers organization by the name of Shedri Vargas. So here's how it works. You can support a rising prospect and get paid a piece of his future major league earnings potentially. He signed for $10,000, and the capital that FinLead is raising is going to allow him to focus solely on baseball. Now, Fernando Tatis Jr., when he was a young player, when he was a farmhand, did a deal with a different company called Big League Advance. Similar idea, where he gave away future earnings for guaranteed money before he made the major leagues. This is the same thing that Shedri Vargas is doing. But now you have an opportunity to invest in Vargas through FinLead, which is pretty cool. You can see it on the screen right now, their website, but I'll scroll down real quick, Jim. So we've been talking about the last few days. I mean, you can start by investing as little as $96. And then depending on how Vargas does, if he makes the major leagues and if he performs in the major leagues, you get dividends. And you can make hundreds, if not thousands of dollars based on your investment. You can invest $96, and then you could see what it would be like if you invested $1,000, how much you could potentially earn via dividends. So really cool company. Rob and Max and the entire team over there are really doing incredible work. They're going to have future athletes coming as well. They're San Diego Padres fans. They're right here in San Diego. And if you're looking for more information, click the link in the description down below.
Yeah, their offices are right next to Petco Park, looking down inside. Mark Grant is an advisor of them. And Shedri Vargas is, close to a top 10 prospect inside the Rangers organization. Keith Law is very high on him. And so, yeah, if you want to invest in the future of Shedri Vargas, jump on now because, going forward, he could make the big leagues and you can see some real dividends to your investment here. So, with Mark Grant advising them, San Diego local company, invest in local and invest in FinLead.
Click the link in the description down below. All right, Padres fall to 22 and 22. I think the primary takeaways tonight are wasted opportunities. And again, I think we're talking more about it's all going to be surmised or summarized by Manny Machado. I mean, there were so many other. I mean, there were 6, 8 plate appearances in this game where they could have tied it up or taken a lead. If you watch this game back 7th, 8th, 9th inning, there's 6, 7 massive moments that played out that could have gone one way or another that seemed to somehow benefit the Rockies, even though they were gifting this thing to you on a silver platter with all the walks, all the ineffectiveness from the relievers. But it boils down to Manny Machado with the bases loaded and 1 out in a 1-run game where a sac fly or a base hit potentially wins it, or even a ground ball that isn't a double play potentially ties the game. I mean, there's so many chances and opportunities there to potentially tie it or win it, and they don't come through. But you know what? This is actually where I would back Machado and say that's baseball. Truth is, it can happen. I mean, the guy could have been red hot. Now, you'd excuse it. If Manny came in 16 for his last 32 and had won you a game or two over the last 10 games, you'd excuse it and say he's red hot. He scorched the ball to third. That's baseball, and it happens. The problem is he's not red hot. I think that's really what it boils down to. We all understand it's possible. Guys can ground into double plays. He's not the first player to end a game grounding into a double play and won't be the last. It's just the way he's playing coupled with him grounding on the first pitch. It just stings even more, I feel like.
Yeah. Manny hasn't built up enough equity this season with his play to have tonight be excused. This has been the constant trend this year with Manny, him not coming through in the big moments, him not performing, kind of looking like a shell of himself. And that's tough. If Jerkson Profar has a bad night, you say, well, look, that's a bad night for Profar, but overall this season he's been fantastic for this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't get on him as hard as you're getting on Manny Machado tonight, because Manny Machado, frankly, has been bad for this team all year. And he hasn't built up enough equity to have this game just this season, not over his entire career. I'm just talking about this season, right? Over his entire career, yeah. If you want to say off, totally. He's built up plenty enough equity over the entirety of his career. I'm just talking about this season. This season, he has not performed well. He has not played well offensively. And so that's why it's hard to really just kind of excuse tonight, as it's just baseball, because he has not done well and he's not performed. So it's like you're sitting there wondering and asking yourself, okay, when is our cleanup hitter going to start acting like our cleanup hitter? We're 22 and 22. We probably could be, if he was better, maybe 24 and 18 or 24 and 19 right now, but we're not. We're 500 instead.
We'll get back to one of these supers. I think there's extreme overreaction on Manny, even though we're spending the night talking about Manny, because that's what people want to talk about. So I'm all for having the conversation. I probably have it more measured than it's been had in the chat right now, but I understand it. I get frustration. I get it from a fan perspective. I really do. HBB, thank you for the super. He says fans are too nice to Manny. He needs the Boston treatment. I mean, he said 2 years ago, I got no problem with getting booed. I mean, boo us. I think he said I play better when I get booed, or whatever he said. Remember, late 2022 or early 2023, talked about getting booed. You remember that, right?
I do, yeah. I'm gonna see if he actually spoke to the media at all tonight. Does anybody know that?
I don't know. I mean, is Marty there?
I'd be surprised if
there's
he
any
wasn't.
quotes in Kevin's recap. Hold on, let me see. By now, he typically would have quotes in, but they're not yet in his post-game article, so probably soon. That's a good point. If you're Machado, this is a night where you should speak, I would think, and say, listen, we had chances, including myself, and we didn't capitalize. We need to do better, including me. And it is what it is. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't see anything. And it's crazy too. I know we are hyper focused on the Padres, but there are some big time stars around baseball, John, that are doing worse than Manny.
No doubt, man. I mean,
that's crazy. I think Julio Rodriguez of the Mariners, Paul Goldschmidt of the Cardinals is god awful.
Yep.
I think Ronald Acuna only has a couple home runs on the season.
I mean, Judge is still hitting 230.
Judge is not doing
But
much
I
of
mean, he's got power.
he's got power. He
Yep.
could hit 40 home runs for you and hit 240.
Yep.
But like, it's not just Manny. It's a lot of superstar players that are not performing well. It's just we talk about the Padres here on the show and only focus on the Padres.
I mean, like Matt says, Matt, and thank you for the membership. He says, does Manny normally start off slow like this, though? Yeah, but like this isn't even like a start, really. I mean, it's again, he missed 4 games and he's coming off this injury, hasn't been in the field, yada, yada, yada. So I don't know how many games he played, 38, 37. But like, I don't know, it's a pretty big sample size, isn't it? Like we're pushing the 1/3 of the season, 50 games. It's, more than that, 54. So, but it's a big sample size. It's not a season, to Matt's point. He could play well for 100 games or more.
Totally.
And hopefully that happens. But it's still we're past the point of like it's a start or it's early. Like, okay, 18 games, 22 games, but 40 something games, like it's a pretty good portion of the season, truthfully.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how could it not be concerning, John? Coupled with
there's a lot of factors. Can I give you? I mean, there's not to excuse it, but let's just talk about the factors. He just had a child. He's coming off a surgery. He hadn't been in the field. He didn't hit last year. I mean, there's like legitimate things that you could be basing it off of. I mean, like really, a lot of them. Ever since he's gone back in the field, he's been awful at the plate. I mean, just flat out awful. Ever since he came back from paternity leave, I think he's due for whatever. Right? It's. I mean, maybe no, he's had more time than that, but I mean, he hasn't hit since coming off. Again, this elbow thing, we can say it is what it is, but we're not going to excuse it. But I don't know. I don't. There's got to be a reason beyond just between the ears. I don't think Manny Machado is lost between the ears. I feel like there's like maybe a reason as to why he's struggled, or maybe it's just that's baseball.
Yeah, man. I do think it's a little concerning. I don't think it's like sky's falling, but I think I mean, I don't see how it couldn't be a little concerning.
Who said? Remember, dude, when they were like, "Yeah." Remember when Manny was quoted like 2 weeks ago? Like, "Yeah, the doctors told me like the second season is when I'll be healthy."
Oh yeah,
Remember that?
yeah.
So
We're like, what the fuck?
We're pretending like, oh yeah, we'll get it turned around, everything's fine. But he actually told the media that he's been told that he's not going to be 100% healthy this year.
But is that?
It's not an excuse. It's just the truth.
Does that have anything to do with his play at the plate?
No power.
No power. He hasn't had power. I mean, remember a couple of years ago, he's like, I got no pop.
Yeah, but you still can't compare it to this because even last year, his down year, what was his OPS?
700-ish.
No, way higher than that.
Oh, he was in the 700s.
782.
Yeah, 700s.
Yes, in the 7. Okay, so he was at 652 coming into tonight. What's he at now? It's like 640s.
40-ish.
So let's see. Machado 640 on the nose. So he's 142 points in on-base plus slugging below where he finished last year. Now, you can absolutely make that up easily. But, I mean, it's not a guarantee, I guess is the point.
Like, you got to get hot, though. And, like, kind of sustain it here. You know? It's concerning because he's not 38 years old. He's 30, what, 32?
He's 31.
31. He's 38. Then it's like, okay, this guy's it's done. It's cooked. 31, and you just signed a big contract last year. And, I mean, 2022, John, you would agree is his best season in a Padres uniform, right?
I mean, it's not close. 2020, but it was like fake year.
Yeah, it doesn't count. I mean, and it's not like these numbers were gaudy, like 1100 OPS, 600 slugging. Like,
He's never been that player.
He's never been that player. He's an 830-ish, 820-ish OPS guy for his entire career. Okay, 825 OPS for his entire career. And 2022, he had an 897 OPS. Now, that's not the best of his career, but still, are you ever going to see anything close to that again? And that, to me, is a question that's legit and concerning that you maybe never will see something like that again for Manny Machado. Like, the highest you might get is like an 840, 50 OPS. and that's a really good season, but you're paying Manny Machado to be an 897 OPS guy going off your 2022 year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a fair point from Rich. I mean, I think we'd all feel the same way, honestly, Rich, but thank you for the super. He says if he takes one and grounds out, I'm not so pissed. You'd still be pissed. I mean,
You'd be mad still.
If the count was 1-1 and he grounded into a double play, we'd be pissed. Any account. I mean, 0-2, 3-2, 2-0. I mean, I don't think you would feel that differently. I think it's maybe a little worse with him swinging first pitch just because the dude couldn't throw a strike. He was clearly on the ropes. Every inning, these relievers were on the ropes.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't close to the strike zone, some of these pitches. And then there you are, first pitch, ground ball double play. It could happen, obviously. It's just frustrating and disappointing considering the way, he's been playing here recently. Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. He says, appreciate the super. He says, I haven't super chatted enough recently and just want to congratulate Jim on his upcoming wedding and congratulate you both on the great work after every game. You're both studs, LFGSD. Now, that is a nice super chat.
Thank you, Arthur.
Wow. Jim, you can use some of that for
the wedding
flowers.
Yeah, I feel like John thinks that this wedding will be harder on him than me.
It's way harder on me. This is taking a real big toll on me.
It really is.
Yes.
No, thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for her more than anything, but thank you. I appreciate it.
What if you were like, I'm not that pumped. Like you're like Schulte. You got to say, you got to say the right things. You got a wife. He's got a clubhouse.
Schulte,
man. I could not believe.
To you, maybe to you.
Yeah, that was.
You just got fucking. I mean, what the?
By the way, this is really funny in the chat. I don't even want to pull it up or have this, but I'm going to anyway because once we're here.
That's you, man. That is all you, John.
I don't take it back.
That's you. And I was like, no, best he's going to get is his number retired. If he makes the Hall of Fame.
He might not get it. He might not get a statue off tonight.
Tonight's not a statue night. No. That's good.
Oh my gosh. Guys, Underdog Fantasy has been with us, as you know, for each of the last couple of years. They got a great offer going on right now, a 50% deposit match. If you use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, you can get up to $250 in bonus cash plus a free special pick. If you click the link in the description down below or scan the QR code on the screen right now above Jim by using, again, promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Pick'ems are going on right now. You can play across all sports, including NBA action for tomorrow night. We have Game 5, Pacers, Knicks. What happened to your Knicks, Jim?
My Knicks, that's Darren.
Siakam, higher than 19.5 points. Let's see if the Padres game is up for tomorrow as of yet. Gosh darn it. It's
not up.
So let me go find Ohtani. Sure, home run. Why not? So if you get a Siakam 20-point performance and a Ohtani home run, you get $82.50 on $10. Okay, that's all you got to do. Go 2 for 2. Siakam scores 20 points with Ohtani homers, which he's done like 600 times. And $10 turns into $82.50. You want to get real cute and say Freddie Freeman homers, and you're winning $1,000. So, it's fun, it's simple, it's easy. You can win 100 times your money in a single night. You can get that $250 bonus cash offer from Underdog. If you use promo code PODSWRAP, you get a free special pick as well. It can't have more fun playing fantasy sports than with Underdog Fantasy. Simple and easy. Play along at Underdog Fantasy by scanning that QR code, Jim.
Yeah. Underdog Fantasy, right above my head there. Scan the QR code. It will take you right to the App Store to download the app. Promo code PODSWRAP. We're giving you free money once you deposit your first deposit to win real money. It's as simple as picking higher or lower, and you don't have to go crazy. But if you want to go crazy, go crazy. You can win some big money and not bet a lot of money at all. I mean, John here, $10 for just Freeman and Ohtani home run and a Pascal Siakam higher than 20 points. You get $1,000. I mean, can't get better than that. So download the Underdog Fantasy app, promo code PODSWRAP, and we are giving you free money to win real money. Plain and simple.
Can't do better than that.
AC's released an article, John.
An article or a recap?
Recap. No post-game quotes from Manny.
No other post-game quotes from anyone?
From Tatis, there is.
Okay.
He said, I don't know what the expletive was, but he said, expletive, man. We had so many chances. We just couldn't cash in.
Yeah, that's a good summary.
Yeah. Expletive, man.
I mean, like, let's be honest. It can happen. Like, I'm sure there's going to be a game this year, Jim, where the Padres hold on by the skin of their teeth. The opposite way. 2 on in the 8th. Suarez has 2 on in the 9th, and they win a game. Like, I would guess that happens. Ishmael, thank you for the super. He says, if the Padres go 2 games over 500 in the next week, would Jim go live with us on his wedding night? I don't think so.
0% chance.
What if Manny on your wedding night hits 4 home runs against the Yankees?
0% chance.
What about this?
You're right. No, I told John this is actually an elaborate bit just to get him freaked out and scared for officiating my wedding. And once he gets there and we get to the altar and he's right before he's going to speak, we're going to say, "You just got punked." And
couldn't you have had Darren, Marty, Brent, Rich Ornberger,
Brent?
And there's so many great officiant possibilities. Matt Scraby.
Scraby's going to be there.
Anyone.
Scraby.
Some of the Scrabinators.
Scrabinators. We got any Scrabinators in the chat? Love Scraby. He's literally the
Someone
best.
cut that and tag us.
Please. Scrabinators, stand up. No, John, there was nobody else. And this wasn't really actually my idea. That was Aaron's idea to have you officiate. So
thanks, Aaron. Appreciate that.
And you know why she thought of it?
Donuts each and every day from now until the wedding.
And you know why she thought of you as the officiant?
Because I can talk?
No. Because when we went to the Aztec
yeah. I was good that night. That's that was like my career highlight.
After they made it to the final or the national championship game and they had celebration with over 6,000 people at Snapdragon, she goes, John's really good at public speaking. He should maybe officiate our wedding.
Gosh, I'm like, it's nice of her to say. Why'd you guys go to that?
So if we didn't go to that, if you weren't talking, you would have never been asked.
Man, that's fascinating. Okay, but I'm glad that she appreciated it that night. So I'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. Arthur, thank you. Says, I'm tuning into the postgame show late tonight, but what are your takeaways from tonight? Simply bad luck? Or more to it than that? I mean, honestly, to Arthur's point, real quick, there's some of that, dude, you threaten like that in a 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, you're going to win more often than not. And like Toddy said, F it. We had so many opportunities, we just didn't capitalize. So it's possible for that to happen. Is it more than that? I mean, they're not hitting with men in scoring position over the last handful of games, and they're not scoring at a great clip here during the homestand. Think about that, Jim. 10 runs in 4 games. Again, 3 of them against the Dodgers, but 10 runs in the last 4 games. I think if you go back to that Cubs series, they didn't score a ton of runs last couple of games of that series either. So, the offense it's been, I don't know, mid the last handful of days. I think that's fair, but I'm not going to read too much into this. I feel like if they have this happen again, I'd be surprised if this exact same thing happens again against the Rockies over the next 2 days. I feel like they'll capitalize on those opportunities. They just didn't tonight.
Yeah, I guarantee you Buddy Black's sitting in there in the clubhouse being like, how did we win that game? I mean, my pitchers couldn't throw a strike to save their freaking lives. And they had runners all over the base paths. And then also they had their best players in the moments with the runners everywhere. How do we win? It's
right.
just, it is one of those nights, but that's why it makes it so frustrating because it's one of those nights and you should have won that game. They outplayed the Rockies up to the point where it's like, they just couldn't get the hit.
Yeah. Rockies are just holding on
for dear life and they survived. So it's not bad luck. There's no bad luck here. Just, they couldn't come through. Padres couldn't come through.
They definitely didn't come through. I can confirm that. I mean, they didn't. That one, Homie's Garage, thank you, says our real rivals are the Rockies. Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. The point's valid. I mean, they're a thorn, you know. I don't know who the Rockies' rival is. Do they have a rival?
No, but
I don't know who the Padres' rival is.
I do think people, like you said, I think people are looking too much at Manny swinging first pitch. Like, oh my God, why'd you swing first pitch? I mean,
it wasn't center cut.
No, you're right. It wasn't middle in, just like
it was kind of like backing
spot.
in on him.
Yeah, that pitcher had a lot of
watched it.
movement.
I mean, this thing wasn't freaking on a tee.
You know what? Manny probably thought to himself, all right, this guy just walked the bases loaded. All he's thinking right now is throw
fastball strike. Get me over strike.
Get me over first pitch fastball strike. And that's probably what Manny thought. And he took a chance.
Yep.
And to be honest, like the thinking there, the thought process
makes sense.
Makes sense. And it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, it's not like all of a sudden you see this ball be 3 feet off the plate and he swings at it and it's a dribbler to second. Like this was, more often than not, the percentage chance there of him trying to throw a first pitch fastball over the plate just because he walked the last two guys to load the bases is fairly high. Now he did throw a first pitch fastball, but it was more up and in than like middle in.
Watching it again.
That was the problem, I think.
Oh man, I mean it's actually a very hittable pitch. I mean, it's a bit up, it's a bit in, but I mean it's right through the swing zone. I mean, if he's going right, he's got to do more than he did with it tonight in that spot. When he's going right, he can kill that pitch.
Yeah, and look, I'm not making excuses for Manny at all. I'm trying to give you probably his thought process there, and he didn't come through. He failed tonight. He has failed more often than not this season, and if you expect to be a playoff team, you're going to have him be a way better for you because when he's not like this, guess what you are? You're a 500 team.
The interesting thing is how much criticism, like we mentioned it earlier, we don't need to go into a whole diatribe and soliloquy on him not sprinting down to first. But that's a big theme in the chat tonight as well. Like it's not just that he granted into a double play, it's that he wasn't running through the bag to end the game.
My guess is even if he was running 100, if he was sprinting, he would have still been out. He still would have been out.
But it's just the perceived look.
It's not. I mean, if it's Tatis, maybe Tatis beats it out if he goes full speed. And if Tatis doesn't beat it out, then we can say, dude, why were you not going full speed there? It's Manny. He's not the fastest guy in the world, guys. I just.
No, he's actually not fast at all.
Like, Manny deserves criticism for tonight, and he deserves criticism for his play for the first 44 games of the season. But to say that Manny needs to be cut, I'm going to burn his jersey. Guy's
yeah, that's too far.
It's like, stop. I'm going to criticize Manny for his play 100%, but doesn't mean that I'm saying he needs to be benched and moved down the order because guess what? That's not happening, and I don't think it should happen either.
Guys, if you're looking to get healthier, make sure to check out our partner, longtime partner in the wrap-up show, Aura, ORA.organic. By the way, Mark Nimitz is in the chat. What's going on, Mark?
Good to see Mark.
Taking a look at the chat, our title sponsor. But again, if you're looking to get healthier, Aura, plant-based proteins, plant-based products, every single one of them, whether it's the probiotic, I take it every day for digestion, whether it's the pre-workout supplements or the proteins for after workouts or the omega-3 oils. If you take a fish oil, they have an omega-3 for you that's plant-based, sleep pills, immunity pills, and much more. Check them out, ORA.organic. Get healthier. Will, their co-founder, is a huge Padres fan, longtime supporter of the channel. They have offices right here in San Diego and Liberty Station. So whether it's yourself or your family, we all want to get healthier, and you can do it with our friends at Aura, plant-based nutritional products right here in San Diego, ORA.organic, or click that link in the description down below.
Yeah, they have everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. If you crave that healthy lifestyle and you want to take some supplements for better gut health, for better sleep, just overall better lifestyle, Aura is the place to go, www.ora.organic. Pick up some supplements and you'll thank us later. No, it doesn't.
Listen, sometimes this is a frustrating sport, guys. It is. I mean, you could play a bad team like Colorado. You can have a million opportunities against a bad team. You don't always take advantage of them and squander an opportunity. I mean, they shouldn't lose that game. They just shouldn't, but they did. So now how do they rebound from it? And you can't let this thing turn into another. Not with Dylan Cease pitching. That's for sure.
Yeah, luckily you have Dylan Cease tomorrow, your ace, and luckily you do have Michael King, who's been pitching really well on Wednesday afternoon. You go out and you win the next 2 games. Yeah, it's going to sting a little bit because you probably should have swept them, right? But what we said today on the radio still stands true now, even after tonight's loss. Just makes it a little harder. Go win the next 2 games, and you've accomplished what you needed to accomplish with a 4-2 homestand, winning both series. You will then have won 5 series in a row?
Yes.
I think.
If they win the next 2 games, that's correct.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
I mean, look at it this way. I mean, yeah, Quantrill's been good, but the Padres are a heavy favorite, obviously, tomorrow with Cease. I mean, Cease has just got to shove tomorrow. And then just put it on the offense. Say offense, go beat Cal Quantrill. I know he's been good, but do enough to beat him. Dylan Cease opposite Cal Quantrill is advantage Padres. And this game at Petco and the way Cease has pitched, and the Rockies have won 5 straight, so they're beginning to believe a little bit. But no, Chad, not DEFCON 5. Yes, for maybe people in the chat, but no.
I think it's the other way around. I think DEFCON 1's the worst.
Okay, then maybe 5.
DEFCON 5 is not. I don't think
not the worst.
It's not great.
Still a DEFCON though. That sounds bad.
True. Yes, Rich, I do. Thank you, buddy.
What's the bobblehead? Manny Machado double play?
No, it's by the way, I do have a Manny bobblehead right here. It's the one that Rich gave me.
Do better.
Look, it's the
Hey Manny.
Hey Manny. Hi. I just hit a double play. Hit into a double play. Oh, game's on the line? I'll roll over that pitch.
You're an idiot.
Oh, I just saw 2 of my guys in front of me have back-to-back walks. First pitch swinging. Hey, you want to see a guy with a 600 OPS? Well, you're looking at him. Anyway. Wait, no, it's not DEFCON 1 if they lose.
Wait, hold on. What's this from Marty? Hold on. 10 minutes ago, Marty Caswell, Mike Schilt, and Jackson Merrill spoke following a deflating Padres loss to the Colorado Rockies. Whose quote is this? Dodgers or anybody, we do not give an F. We'll go after them as hard as anybody. Until the last out, we all went hard. Is that from Schilt or from Merrill?
I think it's from Jackson Merrill.
Come on, what kind of quote is that?
Hey, just calm down a little bit, buddy. Calm down just a little bit.
He's playing great.
He's great. Now, he did have a ball drop right in front of him. Bad miscommunications with him and Tatis in the game, which cost him a run. But I digress.
Fair point. But and Merrill's been unbelievable. But some of these quotes are and I'm assuming, what kind of quote is this? Dodgers or anybody, we don't give an F. We'll go after them as hard as anybody until the last out. We all went hard. Okay. I mean, is that great? Weird quote. He's 21.
Right. Anyway.
I agree with this.
Yeah. Merrill's age means he will have some cringe quotes. Yeah. You're right.
Did they have 4 hits tonight in the entire game? 3 of them home runs.
3 of them were home runs. Did they only have 4 hits?
This is the freaking what's his name? Our producer. Darnay tweet. He's like, if 75% of their hits are home runs, I'll take that every night. And they lost.
And then you said if 75% of Jim's tweets are exciting,
good, I would take that. And then he said if Jim tweeted 75% less, I'd take that. All right. That's going to do it, folks. Join us tomorrow. We'll overreact at 3 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760. So please join us for that. John and Jim, then we're back tomorrow night. Another edition of the wrap-up show right here on your favorite YouTube channel.
I'm Manny Machado. And if you like to watch players hit into double plays, watch me tomorrow afternoon. Sorry, check that. Tomorrow night, 6:40 first pitch. Padres baseball.
Padres.tv.
Padres.tv. It's a great timeout. I don't know if that's a saying, but I do it for the faithful. This is
subscribe. Okay. Smash the like button. Follow us on X at John Schaefer at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the super thanks if you're here on replay. Support our partners. Mark Nimitz is here, our title sponsor. We can't do without Mark. Click that link in the description down below. If you have any insurance need, he will take care of you and save you money. Aura, if you're looking to get healthier, ORA.organic. Finley, again, you can invest right now, our brand new partner. Make sure to check them out by clicking the link in the description down below. And again, scan that QR code. If you'd like to play Underdog Fantasy, use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Get a 50% deposit match up to $250 in bonus cash, plus a free special pick if you scan that QR code and use promo code PODSWRAP.
Will I get a hit tomorrow? Shake your head yes if I'll get a hit tomorrow.
Put it in the chat real quick. Will Manny have a hit? Everyone that's here, put it in the chat. Will Manny have a hit? Yes or no?
Oh, yeah. Give me a hit tomorrow, baby.
All right. Keep those chats coming. For Jim and Manny, I'm John. We'll see you tomorrow. John and Jim, 3 p.m. What a show.